Okay. Could be in here.
Good.
Okay, I guess what...
No, I got another contract. There's there should be here. There should be stuff at the shop. Oh, we were gonna mow. I was gonna mow too, I guess. Okay. I'll load this up, and then if you follow me up to where we're going.
Okay.
Nope, it's the other way. Not that way. We're going to the other road. Behind me.
You guys getting rain the other night, or... Folks said they
yes. I think so. I think we got 3/4 of an inch. I think more towards the border they got about an inch in some spots.
Yeah, that's what the folks said. I mean, it's been threatening rain all the time, every day in the
Well, it was weird because it didn't start until about 7 at night, and it came in with like a somewhat mildly severe storm because parts of the storm were warned for 50-mile-an-hour winds, and then there are some places like Norton that were in a flash flood warning, and then after the initial storm came through, they I'll let you. I'll hook this up. I'll let you harvest. I'll let you start on this field. I'm gonna finish up the contract I'm on, and then
Okay.
then I can come over and help. I can drive trailer too if when you're full or whatever, or when you want me to come get it. But anyways, and then for the rest of the night, like there was some rains because it like sporadically rained through the night. Some rains were kind of heavy, and the next rain would come through. It was kind of a nice slow rain, and it's very weird.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's been raining up in the mountains down here. It hasn't, but the benefit of all that, it's been cool. Sometimes, well, then sometimes humid here. According to back there, it wouldn't. But here.
At 100 degrees and 93-degree humidity, or 93% humidity. No, it's. I kind of was talking to some people this week. It's like it's been kind of weird because like it's like some towns just all of a sudden they get flooded, and then like but all the areas around it don't get hardly any rain,
Real
and then
spotty.
yeah, it's just been really. Suppose it came in just at the right time of year. Maybe it'll help the corn grow.
Yeah. We got sweet corn in the garden. Not tall enough, but it's already tasseling. I don't know if we'll get. I don't know. Sweet corn's kind of harder to grow here. Part of it's. Oh, that one. That one flatbed you sent. Where's where's that at?
Just looking around on the internet because I was like, I'm guessing I could probably find kind of what I was thinking, but maybe not exactly. And I could. I um, it was an off-road place, but it looked like it was just designed specifically for Toyotas. Like they didn't carry any other brands of off-road stuff. I don't know if the dog needs fed. She shouldn't, but maybe I did forget to feed her.
Or cat pretends like it.
She looks like she is. Uh, what's kind of funny about that is I was messaging last night about the storm chaser and stuff.
Yeah.
So Derek's like calls me and he's like he goes, well, you text like 2 or 3 times, and he goes, actually I have tonight off, so I decided that I'd give you a call and talk for a little bit. And he said that if he goes, well, if I wanted to do something like that, and if I come up with all the parts and stuff needed, he'd like yeah, that'd be a good winter project for him to do sometime. I said, well, I'm kind of I don't know. I think about like, well, I could probably make it look decent, and then I think about it, and then it's like it's probably because like yeah, you could get the parts, and then you have to weld it all together, and then you have to either paint it or do something with it. Like probably would want to maybe consider doing. Well, I think we talked about that last week. Rhino lining it with something.
Yeah. I mean, in my opinion, that'd probably be best because I mean, regular old paint's gonna go for a while, but you'll be wanting to touch it up a lot. So probably just trying to line. Well, I mean, you're gonna have to. Some places you're gonna want to probably do a like a paint over rust or something like that, or rust like a primer coat, at least a little. Because one, there's always going to be some rust underneath it, and that's going to rhino line too. It's kind of like you got to kind of do something, put something on there vinyl lining's gonna stick to.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's there's that work, which is hard.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I was like, I told him, I said, well, I'm almost to the point, like, I think even if I don't want to do it, I kind of want to just design something, like, I kind of want to lay it out. Maybe it'll look cooler, but,
yeah,
maybe, and I guess I was, seeing that, because that was a DIY kit that I sent, and to see that it was only $700, and that's buying it from a company, so that's marked up. Uh, so I definitely wouldn't have. I'd have several hundred and have that gave me a good kind of a good ballpark of maybe what it would cost.
yeah. And then your paint would, I mean, like I said, then painting it, all that another $200-300 materials. So get it, get something for about $1,000. That is what you essentially style on.
So and then I did some more thinking on it. And I thought, to carry the tools around and stuff, I'd probably get one of those boxes that you could put inside. They go inside the box, but they so you could fit them in the roll cage. Basically, is what I'm thinking. And then I think I finally come up with what to do with the spare tire. I think the spare tire, you leave enough room in the box that you can put the spare tire between the box and the side of the bed.
Yeah.
And then voila, I've got a off-road looking. And who knows? Because I talked about that with Jeff at one point in time too. It was like because I was looking around at maybe a taller pickup or whatever, and he's like he's like don't go buying someone else's rig. He's like he goes, if you really want to do that, he goes, just do it to the one that you got.
Yeah.
And so I mean, I could basically kind of set this one up for off-roading with not that I necessarily am crazy about doing that, but I guess it'd be more like if I did that, I'd be more like an urban off-roader. I want the looks of it, but I don't really.
But you could
go.
You could get some mud tires and go.
So, I mean, trains on it that are pretty nice, So it's already somewhat got the look, And I was talking to, we talked about him last week, the one mechanic friend I have in Kearney. Because his pickup's doing the same thing, and I said, well, this is what I was kind of thinking of doing. And he's like, hey, he likes it. Well, he's also a mud bogger.
Yeah.
He has an '80s square box Chevy. Actually, it's his grandparents. The deal is like I'm guessing it must have been the old farm truck, and his grandpa just kept it and said that if any of the boys wanted to use it, well, then they started doing mud drags with it, and so then he's like, okay, well, he goes, this is the mud drag truck now, and
Yeah.
he must be full.
said you were
So,
unload.
so anyways, we were talking about it, and he also he's into well, like I said, he does mud tracks, but he also likes road trucks. He really wants to get his hands on just to drive. Well, I do too. Just to just to drive like a NASCAR experience or something, you know, on a in a Baja.
Oh, yeah.
And so he was like, we were talking about it. It was like, well, um, he was like, well, I get tired of seeing my pickup all rusty and everything. He goes, that would be kind of a cool idea. And I said, well, yeah, I'm kind of hemming and hawing over it. Like, I think it's kind of a cool idea. I think I got a good idea in my head, but I'm like to actually execute it and make it look good. And
Yeah, well, if anything, different.
I got to thinking about it, like, well, she would probably she would probably like the fact that it wasn't rusty, but she would still hate the fact that it's an older pickup. So it kind of sort of solved the problem, but not necessarily, you know.
Now, she's got a little unrealistic idea about rural living, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I mean, look, don't get me wrong. It's no, it's nice to run new stuff, but it's also it's more complicated and like most people. I mean, I don't, but you know, most people gotta have a loan. You got that hanging over your head. You don't. I mean, that's the pros for this way you're operating. is they don't owe you anything, you know.
yeah,
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I just upgraded, but I was upgrading for a different reason. I needed I needed to be able to haul all of us pick up. Is really the reason for that. But I own it, you know, have a loan on it. Then it's I don't know. I call it stressful, but it is, you know, it's not brand new, so you know it. Your normal gonna need doesn't need it right away kind of thing, but it's going maintenance items, extension parts. Low miles, there, it's the mileage where you want to keep it handling and riding like that stuff on. So that stuff I got a budget for. Got all this electronic garbage. Hope it lasts, because you know I'll like everything else. You know I'll have it for 15 years. So, um, is it gonna go that long? Hope so. I mean, it probably will, but like yours, it's modern but simple. you know, it's electronic fuel injection. And when I say modern, it's electronic fuel injection. Because certain parts are good shape, it's just gonna run. Carburetor, that stuff. Always pretty much gonna start, weather and all that. I mean, you and me, we remember those days, but a lot of people they kind of forget that starting a car wasn't just putting a key in, and turning it. You had to know it a little. You maybe pumped it, you maybe didn't, you maybe half throttled starting, and if you screwed up, you flooded it, and then you're sitting till it dries out a little bit, or you're holding it to the floor and crank it. I mean, remember? I mean, you had that Subaru Brat for there, and other cars and pickups. People kind of forget about that stuff.
in my class, I can remember in high school, in my class, that I couldn't drive a clutch because of that car, and I was like, no, it's cold, it's cold starting. It's not.
Yeah.
You know, that was in the late 90s. So even back then,
Well,
people
right. I
were
mean,
like
this
just
is
expecting.
well, yeah, because a lot of them were, uh, driving at the time. Well, that's the thing. Even in the '90s, cars were pretty. EFI was just started up. Don't get me wrong. It's that's why today people are a little too picky over what's a good car and what's a bad car. I mean, there are cars. For the most part, it's hard to pick a hard to get a bad car. You can have used cars that have had bad maintenance,
Yeah.
but that I mean, yes, there's I'm making a generalization, but it's automakers aren't making truly horrible car, you know, like ones that just even the worst car will still really pretty much get you where you want and last a pretty reasonable with some very, very in modern times. When I say modern, 2010 and up. I'd say any. I'd almost get ventures about 95. Well, OBD2, 97 and up. They're more as long as they're not all sludged up and that kind of lactic internally. They're gonna run. They're gonna run along. Your stuff is proof of that. And while you do your maintenance,
Well, I know about the maintenance. I won't say I'm always perfect on everything, though.
but and I guess there's where I was going. It's not perfect, but you do some maintenance, and even if it isn't the perfect maintenance, they still run a long time, pretty much trouble free. I mean, like your battery issue, that can happen on a brand new car because the battery is the car. It's the component. You get a bad one or when it doesn't last too long. Just a lemon of a battery. And then but see, a lot of people don't understand have that kind of issue. And they think, oh well, dodge it because of that. Doesn't matter who, but I see it in average people like I work with. They're not car. And so I sympathize with it because to them, appliances like the refrigerator just want it to work.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, thinking about all the systems that are on the more modern cars and which just work. If anything, you get a little annoying. And like I said, cosmetics aside, and yeah, you have a wheel bearing. Having a pickup. But here's the thing. I'm just throwing a number out here, but probably you can get a front end or you can get even the rear ends. Get the bearings for $20, $30, probably for the pair. Of course you got to have the skills to put it in, but it isn't really that hard. And if you have to take to a mechanic, it's not going to be like this major labor bit.
No, it's like
either. So,
it's $50 a piece, and to take it in is only like $250.
Yeah. Well, out here it'd be higher,
It's like,
but even
it's
then,
not gonna break the bank.
yeah.
Hopefully,
But some people, I mean, that is, but when you own the thing, it doesn't. You've already, you can amortize that out. It's like, oh, you got already 10 years out of the car, and then you had to spend and take it in $500. But you didn't have to pay. You weren't paying interest on it.
Yeah.
I mean, cars are a losing thing no matter what price. No, never, you never come out ahead. It's like told the story before here on Grand Am I have. Sold it for more than I bought it for. Some people say, "Oh, you know, money." Well, no, I didn't. You know, there was some maintenance. I mean, gas, but I guess if you don't count that, but you know, but that's things you got to do with every car, so you don't ever come. You're okay. I'm full.
I well, this is full too.
Oh,
Let's see. I should have been paying more attention.
but anyway, I guess. I mean, I guess my point is
Where's
it doesn't matter how you just about losing the least amount of money on your mode of transportation because you're going to lose money on no matter what you
grain sewing station?
want to cross the
Good.
way. Like,
I'm looking. Yes. It shouldn't take me too long because we're kind of in the middle of the map here.
I mean, for you, the only reason to ever upgrade to pickup is again, you got a regular kit. You would if you'd have a need. That was main re- that well that was the put away the Dodge and and you know what? It's already camping trips and stuff and ease of moving of all around, going to Home Depot and getting stuff. I'll go whatever. Some got to haul stuff.
Yeah.
Camping. We don't take two cars. Of course, doing the two car things because all wheel drive car. Not really an off road car. Kind of limit. In this case, pickup got 4-wheel drive, high clearance. So the remote spots. Yeah, so that's sort of my opinion on your situation. Keep the thing as long as you can, unless you like I said, an extended cap. That that day may come for you. You know, it's just not now.
It's kind of lifted over is like I'm not in a rush. I don't need to be in a rush and you know um
Well, and you
because
really
it's
don't need to do what you want to do, but you know, you buy doesn't not hurt because harm the utility if it's nicer.
that's my point. It is it, I mean it makes the truck a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. I mean, obviously it's still rusting and falling apart in other spots, but it may make it look a little more
Yeah, but again, that's just
pretty.
kind of. But then that's just kind of vain too. I mean,
Yeah,
as long as it's mechanically. I used it a lot this summer or whatever.
yeah.
Have better than putting the trunk of a car or SUV back of an SUV and dirty. I've done that in ours. I hate have to, but it's better than having to. I was
But
even thinking
anyways,
about,
he
well, I was
was
even
like,
thinking about the cabin because really, you said your rockers are kind of good. Like the cab corner. Of course, probably over the fender wells on the front is, uh,
no, actually, those are good. The only place on the cab that's really bad is the rocker and the the top of the cab.
well, yeah, that's probably the clear coat, but
Yep,
actual rust. Because you could,
but
I mean,
there's really just it's just the rockers on the bottom side.
well, those are
And,
replaceable, and
and
you could
probably,
do the truck bed coating, you know, get them in there, you wouldn't even have to good body work if you just gonna do the rhino lining on the lower half. I mean, I had, even though mine were good, but you remember my old Ford, the lower, because it was kind of two tone, so it was black down there anyways. Uh, I I just did that in truck bed coating because I knew I was going off roading and mud and potentially scraping rocks and stuff. And that of course I did it before any rust would set in, so we kept it from rust setting. You know, do a little bit of amateur body work and place the metal and that and kind of hide your crimes that way. And it would fit with headache.
yeah.
That I mean that's just heck because since you're gonna rhino line, you could even just cut out where it's rusty, get the rocker panel and just stick it over and essentially pop rivet it in. I've seen people do this. Pop rivet it in and truck. Well, you want to paint it all up like a rust inhibiting primer first and then truck bed. Then do that over that, cover the rivets, slop it on thick to cover. There you go. I mean that's a you can do it in your driveway kind of.
Yeah. Could you do something like that? Like, so originally, what I wanted to do at one point in time was just cut out the rust on the fender flare, cut out the rust on the fender flares, and then figure out something that looked kind of decent, um, kind of decent over the fender flares. You know,
Yeah,
I know they used to make the mine's beyond those circles now, but
right.
uh, I know they make those plastic things go
Yeah, a lot of
point in
people
time, but
do that, but if yours are farther gone from that, then an option. I mean, really, there's not a lot. If I can recall what it's, but yeah, I mean, yours I think is a little farther gone to. But I know what you're saying.
because that would actually be the thing. You
I
know
mean,
what I
there
mean?
might be some bigger ones, that cover more area that might. I don't know. I guess you'd have to Google a little. I really don't know. There might ones that big enough to that. Well, I remember because our red square body two-wheel drive had them on. The guy before us put them on because in front of the wheel wells on those brushed out down on the bottoms. Well, they made like J.C. Whitney or they were either in aluminum or something, uh, like a patch panel that fit the contour just perfectly, and you just like pop riveted them. And to be honest, they didn't look too out of place because they kind of had a nice rolled edge. They kind of looked like they were like an armor, like a protection armor from stones getting. What would happen is mud would lay back there, but also stones from the front wheels would kick because it kind of stuck out, would kick up clear to the back and chip the paint off and then rust in them. So it kind of looked like, nowadays they put, clear bra stuff and all the leading edges places. They handle stone. Well, that's a thing that was an option. Those pickups, like back in the 90s, to sort of fix but not look like an obvious fix. Look like, in a way, it was like putting a mud flap. Kind of looked like it was supposed to, but it was only it was
That's what I'm going for.
metal.
It's like something that maybe makes it look like it's supposed to be there.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of like, there might be fender flares that have a wide enough coverage area that gives like a different, wider, beefier profile, but again would be big enough to area.
Yeah.
And if it's too far up the box, away from the wheel arch, that might not. And of course, depends on how fine or how, some of them do double side tape sticks on, because your wheel arch is probably gone, and sometimes you need that to screw it too. So, but there's
Oh, I just see some. So they took a. I can send you this. They took a. It might be a little bit hard to get the curvature. Then again, maybe you just buy one of those box uh, cutouts, but um, or replacement panel is what I mean. And then paint it black like you were saying, and then kind of do something like this. Let's see, I'm sending it to you now. Then you get one of those fender covers. You must be full.
Yeah.
I was busy playing around. Yeah.
I mean, like some of the upgrades I'm gonna do to pick up, it's like I'm going. Well, it's not rusty anymore, but that start off, I'm gonna, painting, undercoating. I may put some. I gotta find good mud. I mean, it's got the factory, or honestly, offer very, but that, and then like of course, it's body, so it's not gonna rust, but road, but is, add some protection. Like, I don't know. I've looked at flares and stuff to offer protection, wheel arch, but I don't know. They can't find ones that aren't too big, because I'm not going to be putting bigger tire stock, and it kind of looks. Some of them kind of look hokey. like the wheels arches look too big. Like right now it looks fine. I do want some protection there. I'm trying to find ones that are actually kind of thin, so it's just an ever so slight black accent around, but offering paint protection. But all of them, most of them you find are for Geysian tires or mine. I'm just not gonna. I'm probably in the minority where I want a fender flare, but I want it more like kind of like the factory one I had on the earlier. Black strip.
Yeah.
Because like most of the upgrades I'm going to do is like they're the thing. How your pickup, Noel, your pickups, have good tie downs in the corners. This really doesn't, and doesn't really have traditional stake pockets. Not that I really use those much, but occasionally they. But there is some like bed, like in the bed accessory places to tie and hold down. So things like that is what make them more functional, better. Again, different kinds of lumber and things, especially with the 6.5 foot box. I'm going to tie things in there because occasionally I have the end gate. And then a few interior things, and like either some WeatherTech or probably Husky liners. I've had both. They're both. But to protect the carpet and stuff, because like I said, it's like new in there. And it's a winter vehicle. It's also an extreme winter. And again, well, the duplex and stuff up there. Well, I'm usually hauling things, but I gotta go up there. Pick up. Yeah, other than that. Put them. Probably the only real modification upgrade there is, but don't sell these like I've had on all the other, put on my other pickups. The shock with a coilover spring on it. A little bit of a helper. Getting close to the max load, or well, they don't make them this year. But there's kind of an airbag, an air assist, kind of an airbag system, load leveling. And it's about $200, so it's not going to happen right away. But where I got this bigger trailer, and it's great. Something like that. Again, it's more functional. Probably put some kind of bug deflector. Otherwise, I'll stick her up. I guess that's the only other thing. Gotta put my YouTube channel and all that. Actually, speaking of driving your much.
I usually drive it once. I usually drive it once a week. If I'm not once a week, then it's every other week. But I usually try and get it.
Put the top down occasionally.
I get it out. I always try to get it out once a week, even with that during the winter. Yeah, I drive it.
Yeah. Top down driving when you.
Actually, I have never had to sit down in it. It's one of those things I like. I want to take it down at home once, um, before I take it on the road. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I want to make sure that it's working properly. Not that I didn't think that it was, but and I know the more likely it's not going to work. But no, I drive about once a week.
Yeah, I guess I would.
I still enjoy driving it.
Make it the Friday.
Uh, yes and no. I was driving, so I was driving it on Friday, because I would come home at noon, and so I drive it to work. I drove home, and then drove up to Kearney in the Impala. Um, I was thinking of, well, I was going to drive it kind of cold, did not to. No, I drive it. Enjoy driving it.
I guess I'm surprised you haven't had the top, to drive with the top down. No, it's hot, but it AC working.
No, I never AC in any of my vehicles. In fact, I was thinking about, um, this next month. I got to do a little bit like, um, some a trip, so to speak, for my mom, and I was thinking about buying a recharge kit and recharging the Impala and seeing if that would.
Well, it lasts a while and got a leak.
I don't know if it has a leak. See, I just never run my AC air, and I I've I hardly ever get hot air that rolling the windows down um doesn't do anything, you know.
All right, I'm.
Yeah, I've just got to the delivery spot.
I guess that's one thing. I you know I mean back in the day when we grew up, we literally didn't have AC. That it was an option and it didn't have it in our pickups. Now it's I'll if it doesn't work, I'll make like well like the white Acadia, it compressor shelled on. I took it in to have it. That one's I could have. I still would have had to take it in. Well, I have a vacuum pump now and gauges, but at the time I didn't. Because I mean that's our trip. And if I live back well and back there, I live back at the. I mean, if I had to run a while without, I'd have it fixed. For me, I'd have it fixed. I'd have to have it I could drive it for a
See,
while.
you're saying that it needs fixed. It doesn't. I don't certainly because I don't use it, so I
It
don't know
works.
if it has a leak or not. It worked when I bought the car.
Well, then it probably works. Well, actually, see, not using it is because seals in the compressor, and so. But I guess if you're using but I take that back. If you're using the defrost, you're using the AC in the wintertime.
Yeah.
But
Well,
what I mean
so
is
the,
it actually keeps the compressor and things fresh. I mean, granted, things
yeah.
wear out, but other than that, that's the only car I've ever had. Well, yeah. Other than that, my Impala, I had to have it. Will eventually fail, but like I'd say air conditioning. As long as for some reason don't develop a leak, seem to run pretty.
I need mine in like a weekend or two. I'll be good.
Right. I'm off tomorrow day, so
Yeah.
a little longer than only after. We can quit it then. I just realized I don't know if I made my picks. Got a day yet. Last week was an off week. And put across.
It's again until the 9th.
Okay, got a while.
Yeah.
Got busy doing. Kind of lost track of the series a little. That's the thing with Mo. I like it. I like watching it. But it's so much busier and some.
Yeah.
Even watching it back on challenging. You have to budget. I mean, too. But budget your time on it.
Yep.
I mean, I guess that's one thing. Engineer. One thing about I I don't know that I'd ever want to go back to traditional. Having to set your life by the television schedule for things you absolutely. I can remember, college and stuff. You were at work, but I catch things in between classes. Other than that, if you didn't catch it, you missed it.
Yeah.
Almost no way to catch a internet. I mean, yeah, you can article barely have. Well, and kind of this made me think. I'm on subreddit. generational shared culture, shared experience. There's pros and cons, but one of it is like the TV. I like being able to, okay, I want to work on this stuff around the house, whatever I got to do. We're going to go do thing. I don't have to miss, I don't watch anyway, but like back then, you had to choose do stuff or miss, like MacGyver or whatever.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. You had to be back before 7. Whatever you were going to do, you had to be back before 7 because that's when MacGyver came on, whatever, Airwolf, any of those TV shows. I don't miss that at all. Love YouTube and other forms of on-demand content. I could sit and go watch last race, start it up after we get done here. Oh. But then on the flip side of that, like we have similar, and you watch different stuff and seek out, like on YouTube, don't necessarily there is that. But there's just so much stuff right now. So much stuff that's tailored.
Yeah.
Like again, you watch, all these other farm streams. I really have a desire to do that. But you can.
I'll turn them on, and then you don't so watch me do the same thing. You turn them on, and then you do your own farm or whatever.
Yeah, well, that's what I do. I'm near the computer, so I'm hearing kind of type. If anything, that's one thing, and I don't know how you get around. I'm being able to watch like other things, like you would have the TV on the background. That's something you'd do back in the day too. Parents would. Well, my parents, but people would. That'd be a normal thing. I'm full if you want. But with the streamer, that's what I do, like with you and others when I can catch them. So I'll put them on the background. But to also be able to quickly engage rather than having to run to the type, or even if you're doing it on your phone, bring up that keyboard and type something. I try to engage when I can, but
that's where I think it's good that I think that's where, because if I was playing Fortnite, I can do that. But if I'm playing Sim, I can quit on the farm for a second and
well, what I mean is you're playing. I am again, like, I mean, you kind of know my setup here, but it's like I can watch and listen to you literally like 5 feet away while I'm making eggs and stuff. If I'm not cooking outside, but more, so that's more in the winter. But like, if you're talking about something, somebody else in the chat, I have to. There's not an easy way to quickly engage and say, yeah, and this, like gauge. Now, granted, I understand a lot of the bigger streamers, people have their eyes glued to it, ready to chat at the notice. The casual viewer of I I can't just burn 2 hours sitting there. You know?
Yeah.
That's kind of the only Achilles heel of live streaming, I guess, and building an audience. Got to figure out when they can. I mean, you're gaining your. I guess I just can't. I choose not to. I shouldn't say can't. Like this is convenient for me, but like rarely anything. And then some stream views after the fact, but and again, I'm not really doing it for stream. Obviously not for the money either. Get to hang out and chat with you. And get together like
we. Yeah.
I mean, I wish it could be better for Derek, but that's a perfect example. Is times of work for Derek doesn't work for us. So like, he stream time that would work best for him to stream would probably be not a time that I can watch it. Your weekend mornings just work perfectly. It's the weekend. We are take it slow and have to. Beauty of not Farmin or don't have to get out there and get after it. Not on this time crunch.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of the 9 to 5. I mean, like that. And like I said, when they choose to. Content, I don't. I guess.
Yeah.
And they don't be. That's the. Not they don't even. Occasionally they'll put what they will do. They'll put on the TV, but then they'll go upstairs and play. It's just background noise. I mean, sometimes they will sit with friends. But here's the thing they enjoy watching them. They'll put on, because I have Discovery Plus, so like it has like those HGTV shows. They like to watch. It's called Vacation House Rules. So it's kind of like about fixing up a proper like Airbnb. They like to watch renovation, and then This Old House. They find that and that's
maybe.
Yeah, I was like, no. But yeah, they'll watch This Old House, and like it'll be like old one too, because it'll be like on the Roku. Like Ask This, and it's hilarious because they'll go in like other families. I think if I was to renovate this room, I would move this here and move this wall here. What that says about them, but those ain't. Yeah, pretty much home and all the things. Yeah, they don't really watch a lot of cartoons. Maybe the one thing they will binge if I allow some YouTube channel called You Can Beat. I mean, it's a deep dive on mostly classic, NES type. So I mean, so think of like um, Zelda: Link to the Past. It's like a 2.5 hour video because I mean he goes over every secrets, tricks, glitches, but it's a complete walkthrough and everything, every little glitch. I mean, and they just, if anything, that's the one thing that they kind of, I don't want to say they zone out, but it's like they'll they'll that's what they relax to.
Yeah.
Um, and it's like games they'll never play, but they do have a basis for comparison because NES Classic and stuff, we can play some of them. But like we got to start up a game a while back, the original Zelda, and I had forgotten a lot about that. And I mean, I had played through when I got the thing. Eventually, I had never seen the end myself or played the end with friends. But going along, he's like, "Oh, turn there. There's a burn that bush there." I mean, he memorized, had things memorized where stuff was and what you should from watching that video. Oh,
Yeah.
he'd watched it a couple times. But I think I told you last time. But, last couple times I landed in PC, wanted to play Farm Sim, and he's actually like farming. He'll hire an AI worker, this, and then figured out where the sell point and stuff is. I showed him none of this. When I first got it, we kind of tried to do that, but he terraform, but built. I mean, you watched. Now he actually sort of playing the game. I mean, there's no wrong with it, but kind of the way it's ended, I guess. And I keep that made me think. I keep meaning to buy 25 and get it downloaded, but I also keep meaning to upgrade 11, pull the band-aid off, and keep that done. Every time I fire up the computer, it's actual work. So I'm like, I'll do it next time. I'll do it next time. Like I fire up the computer just before we're gonna stream here. Oh, one of these days, soon, then we can play on 25s and mess around. That you'd like to mess. Okay, I'm full. When you get back, but yeah, that's a thing I want to get happening, especially before. I mean, that's a wait for kind of get back into a more normal rhythm. It seems like the wintertime a little easy.
Yeah.
Of course, kind of like the way it is. There might be wintertime activities you got to shuttle in.
Yeah, it's gonna start up here pretty soon. We got soccer and football coming up this next month.
Oh, I just pulled up my phone to see. Yeah, there. Yeah, that could be. As long as that wheel arch thing would go up above your. You need to see those in person. Those wouldn't be bad.
And I don't know, I was just, yeah, I don't want to get started on it again.
No, I didn't. Phone and I'm waiting a second because I did hear it go you, but I got for my topper, because the topper really isn't exactly for this model year. For the earlier model year, which is close, but the rear of the box just slight gap edges the profile, other than just being straight. Like
Yeah.
now, it's kind of like curved. So it seals in the middle, but out last three triangle opening, and I thought, well, that won't matter. Rain's not going to get in there, but like when you're going down gravel roads, there's negative pressure in the cab. It sucks. But that's going to be a video. That's partly why. That's going to be the video I kind of want to. Hey, look, hey, I'm going to find this. Some of me modeling it out and then catching it. I
Yeah.
Again, if it doesn't, I'm maybe 50 cents worth of plastic. My time.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Time to learn. 60. Probably a program closer scope and ability commercially learning curve. That's why I kind of like
Yeah.
Tinkercad. Mostly I like Tinkercad A because it's browser based software to download and log into anywhere. That's what's up. But it is limiting. Well, I don't know. I've seen people do some stuff, but it's probably harder than like a real software. I mean, it's by auto today. It's designed as a educator. But I'm sure, like, okay, like simple things like making a fillet in something, like in whatever you use, and I know like 60, there's probably a function in points and how you tell it a radius or just freeform it, and it makes it. Well, with Tinkercad, you kind of got to use a shape and make the shape a hole to cut it out. I find it a little. Again, used it more, I probably would. So it's little things like that that I find of it. And making parts that are a little more perfect. Not trying to be an engineer. I like to try to. Yeah, that like something like that is.
Yeah.
And again, I'm kind of designing on the fly. Probably part of it. It's like I see it in my head, and I got to put it on the computer. Just like draw something, see it appropriately. Sometimes lost in translation because I don't know how to make the program do what I know can be done in the physical world. Well, that's more stuff. Fireman. Kids are out of the house or something. That's a way.
Well, the one will probably teach you.
Well, yeah, yeah. We'll see where they. That's it. I like to know how to do it. A lot of trial. Sometimes I don't have the time to sit and trial it. It's kind of like your teeth. Have in your head which.
The first part of that was coloring. Now that I got that kind of figured out.
Well, and
Like
learning the
that.
program. I mean, that's the thing. Sister can. And she does.
Yeah.
Getting the shapes. Now, of course, some of it is hardware. I believe she's got one drawing. But still, you can gotta know how to use this at work.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be full here. I suppose if I did some headland.
Did you hear about the explosion in Fremont?
I did. I ran across that. I didn't look into it. What's the story on that?
Finally came out today with what they think happened. They think that somewhere in the process of, because it's a biofuel plant,
Yeah.
and they think somewhere in the process it ignited, and then the fire is it created a fire, and then the exploded. Um, the fire is what exploded. The sad part is that it killed a father and at least one of them was his daughter.
I
Um,
heard that.
She was 12. They never really gave the age or anything on the other ones. Her sister, if it was a friend. That
Yeah, because I think that made like.
yeah, it did. It was just kind of fun. Um, the my coworker didn't even know about it until I said something to him, and then he's all like, well, I don't listen to national news. Gets it, you know, but he never heard about it till I mentioned it. But they said they think the girls were in the office area waiting for him to get done, and um, I think that's probably all the details are probably going to give on it because like they just said that they wrote it an accidental, but I've watched the video. You can see the one video they have of the top of it. You can see the smoke just kind of all of a sudden start rushing out at the same time, like there was a first explosion, a small explosion, or maybe it was an explosion deeper in or something. I don't know, but then the second explosion was what damaged everything, and they I don't honestly know if they got the fire out yet. Like they couldn't because they couldn't get to parts of the fire because the building was damaged.
But I guess it didn't spread any.
No, so, you know it's kind of an contained as far as you know on that property. It wasn't really. I don't think it was really in danger. No places, but you know, I mean, they said they made bedding for animals, so my guess is it was just like a maybe it wasn't sawdust, but it's just like a sawdust version. And well, I think they. I mean, I'm guessing everybody kind of already knew. Like they said they had to list the people that were in there as missing until they could find them, and then they didn't find them until because this happened on Tuesday around. They didn't find them until yesterday. And they said they found the first, found the two little girls, like 4 hours later. But they had to call in, so I'm sure Colorado has one too, but they had to call in, they call it Task Force One, and they go out and handle, they, they probably went down to the Texas feds, down for hurricane.
Yeah.
They just help wherever, and they pretty much went up there immediately, I think. And like, actually, I know they did because the firefighters said they didn't know how to proceed safely um, to put the fire out because it said the building was damaged and everything that they needed help to fight it, and that's why it might actually still be burning the parts of it, but. I don't know. Tuesday was a crazy day because then that was that 8.8 earthquake hit, and everybody was watching for tsunamis. Seems to me there was something else that happened that day. Which the tsunamis did hit. I think one hit. I think it hit yesterday to the closer places, and then today it hit like um. I saw pictures of a place that it hit today that was like a little bit further away. Either that or maybe it was just so remote they couldn't get to it until a day later. But we have let's see. Tomorrow it's just gonna be me and one of the other guys at work. We got one guy headed down to Kansas to fix something, and then one of the coworkers is going to the lake up in Iowa to his friend makes art. Like he welds gears and stuff together and makes animal. He made he made a buff like I think a month or two ago. He made a buffalo for Glen Elder. But he got kind of like your kind of like your one show that you're starting to kind of promote now on your
Yeah.
YouTube channel. Um, it's kind of this thing is kind of like up. What's that Lake Okiboji? Um, so my coworker helps him load up stuff, get up there, and he helps him helps him haul stuff around and stuff. Anyways, this artist got an invite to go up there, so he was headed up there, spend a few days at that lake. He was kind of a little bummed because I guess Hastings Art in the park was this weekend, and he being from the area, he had to go that one, but he's like, man, he goes, it sounded like his friend was like going like, you don't get an invite to just to go to this one very often. You kind of have to take it when you.
Right. Yeah. Probably a good.
Well, we were kind of discussing it because that we looked it up on the map, and that lake is pretty good size, but it probably also gets all the. You get people from Des Moines, and you get people from Minneapolis, and you get people from Sioux Falls and Sioux City, and all those big towns, and you know, there's there's probably some money to be had there.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it righted. His friend is a good. I mean, he's a good artist. We've of what he makes, but kind of crazy. This is actually it's his second job. He he works at a place in Hastings, and then he comes and works on stuff in the garage, welds it all together. And the one at Glen Elder, he actually. But they were they were discussing what to make up there for this lake one, and um, he was like, "Well," he goes, let's make a turtle and like a sea turtle." And my coworker was like, "There is no sea turtle up 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 there." This is weird. I can see on your screen that this is something's. I can see on your screen that you're. It looks like, but on my screen it doesn't look like it's been harvested.
Well, what's kind of weird is I don't know what happened. Yeah, it's like I'm going like 20 miles. I can go like 20 miles
Not only that, but you're not
an hour. I'm not filling up. Yeah.
you're
What's
not putting a trail out either.
yeah? What's going on? Okay, let me turn it on. Turn.
Did it glitch maybe on the comp?
I kind of wonder. But you see that stuff just spawned back in. Okay, that was an interesting glitch.
So yeah, you're gonna have to back up
Uh,
because
well,
seeing
yeah.
as
All of a sudden, I was going like
the
20 mile an hour, and that was funny.
that was a weird glitch.
Well, all I did was like lower the header, but on mine it was like showing I was harvested. On yours, obviously, it wasn't, or it looked like it wasn't.
Yeah, I'm looking at the. It has a
Like
so
it's not spawning back in for me. Let me see. Now it's working.
yeah.
Well, I'll have to just go back over. Yeah, if I just back up, like now it's spawning in as I must be the draw distance. Got huh,
Who
that's
knows?
funny.
I think the dog is barking.
I'll have to see if it spawns back in when I draw distance here. It shows a patch that's there, but I'll draw. Hang on. Kind of do the headland a little back and forth
Yeah.
just to fit. Wonder if that doesn't spawn in for us, or wonder if that'll cause the contract. You know.
Well, it should be okay. If not, I can make it. So,
Yeah, I know.
just went over me.
Yeah, I know. Oh, there. Yeah, there it's. Wanted to see if.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, all of a sudden I was doing 20 mile an hour.
Yeah.
might be.
Not quite. Close though.
All right. Well, why don't you run along?
Like 2% more left. Okay, there we go.
Might be able.
Excuse me. I was trying to decide which map we played last week, and I can vividly remember um Missouri, and I was like, no, I thought we played the Australian map, and then just bef oh, I don't know, let's say like an hour before stream, I was like, the reason why you remember Missouri so well is because that was the last map we played.
Yeah, because we had a hard time getting that told
Yeah.
pickle it.
Which I guess if there was any question, I should have just thought if I could probably have gone to my last and figured it out too, but
How's it gonna be?
oh, I'm on my way back. Alright, I get this all back.
Now I go. And I suppose
Yeah.
it seemed like we made too much.
We haven't yet. We haven't yet.
I saw it did come in second to last.
Yeah, it's because we finally hit the point where um we finally hit that point where we're going to. Um, so when you do these green contracts, you um you like I think 90% of it goes to uh 90% of it goes to the contract, and then you get 10% of the green sale wise, and then on top of that you get whatever it costs to whatever they were gonna pay on the contract. Almost there.
There.
Yep.
Didn't see.
And then